This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to jump into the Big Dog Inc. comic book universe to take a look at their Critter action figure. Originally offered on Kickstarter, which these came from. I believe the darker toned one on the right here is actually a Kickstarter exclusive, but I don't remember because I'd honestly forgotten I had backed this one. Uh, the comic book came out a number of years ago. There are 4 graphic novel volumes for it, and as you might see, it looks like Um, the darker costume is what she ends up with later on, based on the cover of Volume 4 there. But anyway, let's take a look at the boxes here. It's the same packaging for both. There's nothing special about them, even though they're 2 different colors. So it's almost like they set it up as a Chase variant. On the sides, well, those are opposite sides. But this is what we have some artwork here of her. On the back, some more artwork and a little bit of information. And I'm honestly not sure how you're supposed to pronounce her name. Because I would normally just say Casey, but that looks like it's Kesia. Crawford is a small town girl who is destined to save the universe, or at least that is what Paradox, her mentor from the far future, believes. But how can a girl in a spandex costume from Michigan mean so much to the cosmic scale of the universe? After discovering her mother's secret life as a superhero, gifted telepath Cassara now wears an A-infused cybernetic tail and ears her mother once donned as Critter. With Paradox observing from the sidelines and a growing number of villains standing in her way, will Critter reach her full potential and be the savior she is supposed to become? Find out in Critter Comics from Big Dog Inc. The figures were produced by Loose Collector. I believe they've done also Vampirella, um, Purgatory, Red Sonja, and so forth. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these figures, shall we? They're both pretty much the same except for the coloring. I did not see any warnings about issues with the joints, so hopefully they don't have any. Nice plastic casing. Here we have our first look at her. Kind of the hairdo reminds me of something you might see on Peg Bundy, to be honest with you. We got nice bright red lipstick. They did some good detailing around the eyes. She has double jointed knees. We do have the hinge and the swivel at the ankle here. She's also wearing battle wedges. She does have a joint to go out on the hip, forward pretty much 90 degrees, back about yay far, but her butt gets in the way. No side thigh swivel, which is just a little bit disappointing. And I don't know if they normally have those on their figures, because I have not actually bought any other figures from Loose Collector, I think. On her shoulder, we've got the hinge and the spin around. We do have a bicep swivel, which is nice. We see a little bit of her skin shows here. We go back to having the double jointed elbow, I think. There we go. Double jointed elbow. Nice. The hand can spin. There is an in and out hinge with her. And she comes packaged with her clawed hands for attacking. The tail itself is also articulated, so you can spin it around. The hair actually is designed to kind of stay out of the way quite a bit for posing, so she can look all the way down on her ball joint, so she can look at her own boobs. She can look up a little bit, look to the side, look to the other side, because they did this kind of waterfall effect, I guess. I don't know what you'd call that, with her hair, so that it does have the room to maneuver around a bit better, which is nice. Her little Cybertronic cat ears here up on top of her head, in the same color as her tail. They did do some nice detailing here, though, using a kind of a black wash on there to just bring out a little bit more depth to the costume. She does actually have a ball joint here at the chest area, so she can move around. And unlike a lot of modern action figures that we get from Marvel, DC, and Masters of the Universe or Mattel, she's got boobs. Included with her are another couple sets of hands. We got a pair of fists so she can punch the bad guys. And we just have some pretty standard hands. I do think we should have gotten a set of gripping hands too, because even if she isn't part of, even if they don't make other figures for this line, um, you could probably still use other action figure weapons with them, because she is, in the 6-inch scale. So now she can scratch you and punch you. And the left or the right fist is a little bit hard to, or hand is a little hard to get off there, and I don't want to risk breaking the figure, to be honest. And now she can scratch you and slap you. Smack. She is a bit taller, though, than your standard G.I. Joe figure. Oh, man, I don't have. I should have brought in one of the male characters to compare her to, though, too. On the other hand, she's also wearing heels, so maybe that's part of the reason why she's taller. Let's see. Yeah, she's still taller, even if you, kind of slink her down a little lower to go with the heels. But I don't think she's supposed to be a short character, so I think she'll still fit in pretty well with your regular 6-inch scale action figures. She does have some peg holes in her feet, so you can stick her on a stand, in theory. Let's see if we can get her to stand on her own, though. Which is starting to look unlikely. Bring out a figure stand. I don't know. It looks like, okay, yeah. Her feet will peg into the generic action figure stands I picked up. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other variation of her. This is either supposed to be a Kickstarter exclusive, or perhaps maybe it's meant to be the modern era version. Same jointing. Yeah, it's the same figure, only in different color scheme. So we get all the same articulation, though you might need to rearrange parts a little bit to get them in the right positions. Comparison-wise, I mean, her costume is basically the same, only it's a darker blue. Her fingers are tipped in the white as her costume is, just to give them a little bit more standout compared to the original version. And then she's got kind of a split tights under her boots. Look at that butt. So, as I mentioned before, this was a Kickstarter campaign that I had backed. The figures, I believe, were $75 a piece at that time. I would figure that at the very least, this version, the original style, will probably be available on like Big Bad Toy Store, because they do carry figures produced by the same company. We do get the extra fists and slapping hands as with the new figure, or the variant coloring as the original. So that's no need to bring that out. As part of the Kickstarter, I did go ahead and jump in to get the comics. I vaguely remember reading the first volume and second volume originally when they came out a number of years ago. I don't think I was aware that there was a third and fourth volume of stories. So I went ahead and I went all in on the comics and got all 4 volumes so I can read them. Since I did just get the figures in yesterday, I have not had a chance to read any of them. Also, with the Kickstarter campaign, we got a poker chip, which is something that I've seen a lot of comic book offerings throw in there as one of the stretch goals. And I'm not sure why this is a big stretch goal, but whatever. Same image on both sides of the chip. We got a little card. I don't know if that was a stretch goal or just something they threw in anyway. First I thought it was a sticker, but it is not. But it is some nice artwork. We also got an art book. Oh, limited to 100 copies. Different images and characters, some of which I think are comic book covers. Most likely they're mostly variant covers, I'm sure. I won't be scanning in pictures to get a better look at these, though, like I sometimes do with the Masters Universe stuff, because this is somebody's actual art and not just going over a comic that came with a figure. And it was obviously an exclusive for the Kickstarter. We also got what looks to be issue number 1 of a new series, maybe, because I did not see this inside of any one of those volumes when I opened them up. So I'm going to have to look into that and maybe contact my local comic shop to see if there is a new Critter comic coming out. But, like, I mean, the artwork's gorgeous. I like it. And then, as an added bonus, we got something called the In Crowd, which has nothing to do with Critter, but is it also in their universe, I think. I will have to read this one later, but it just looks like another superhero comic story. Wait a minute. Was that green dude the guy in the front of this comic here? Oh. I think that might be the same guy. Okay, cool. So anyway, this will do it for my my review of the Critter figure from Big Dog Inc. Comics and Loose Collector. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I will double check to see if this is available on Big Bad Toy Store before I post the video, and I will mention it in the description below if it is. Peace and love, everyone. Just a little bit of an added bonus here at the end. Because of the way the packaging is designed, the figure can go back in afterwards. Of course, that also means getting the figure in the proper position, or close to. So, if you decide after opening it you want to put them back in and display them in package, or I guess if you decide you want to resell them later, although, I mean, independent comic figures probably don't raise in value a lot, you can do that too. And I do like when you can put figures back in the boxes afterwards without damaging anything. I think that's a great added bonus.